Toss up 1. This character compares an immense desert to Victor Hugo's idea of the living infinite. This character screams, "I am the oppressed and there is the oppressor," after spotting his ship and mourning his dead family. A flag with this man's motto, "Mobilis in mobile."
Nemo.
That is 20 points.
Nemo. Yeah. Oh.
That was Sunday. Okay, thank you. This word alternatively names the Izek-cloth and Apache cord that confers strength and that cannot be touched or discussed by non-believers, for 10 points each. Give this word, which also names a 4-colored indigenous wheel appropriated by the plastic shaman Charles Storm. This word alternatively named shaman-like healers in indigenous American communities.
Indigenous
Medicine
American?
Man, right?
Oh yeah, sure, medicine man.
Yes, medicine, yes. Sweetgrass, sage, and cedar are among the 4 sacred medicines used during this purifying ritual, where participants immerse themselves in smoke to banish negative forces.
I'm actually so bad.
Answer?
Ghost dance.
That's smudging. Smudging is used to purify Lodge's name for this bodily
Sweat.
process, which is induced through
Sweating.
steam generated from water poured onto hot rocks.
It is sweating.
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 Yes.
Yeah, I think
If you want to interrupt, you can, but just say directly.
Oh, say direct.
Oh,
Sure, just so you can tell
sorry.
they're not like conferring with each other. So they can't see you while I'm reading.
Yeah, my bad.
Toss up 2. Players of this instrument may practice exercises by Mauro Giuliani and Matteo Carcassi and use PIMA notation. This instrument plays both arpeggios and a tremolo melody in a solo piece titled "For Memories of a Certain Place." The Nokia ringtone was excerpted from a
guitar.
That is 20 points.
Let's go.
This effect shifts a sight frequency spectrum to the right by making rare mutations more common, for 10 points each. And in this effect, a form of genetic drift in which a non-representative sample of individuals is geographically isolated from a group.
Bottleneck.
It's the founder effect.
Oh.
Founder effects suppress the effective form of this quantity, which is a metric of genetic diversity. Carrying capacity is a limit on this value.
Population.
The effective population size is a fraction of the population with this property over 4 times the mutation rate. In a population with complementary gene frequencies P, Q, and R, the expected frequency of this property is 1 minus P squared minus Q squared minus R squared.
This property.
Having a
Heterozygous allele.
Yeah, having a heterozygous allele.
Yeah, heterozygous, yes, that's right.
Nice.
20 points. Toss up 3. During this conflict, the printing press of the Herald of Freedom was melted down for a second edition of Cannonballs that destroyed Fort Titus. A speech made about this conflict compared to Senator Don Quixote.
Bleeding Kansas.
20 points.
Nice.
Weasels that stole these animals are among the things Emily Dickinson defended herself against, according to the poem Dedication for a Plot of Ground. For 9 points each, name these animals. An Image's poem describes an object glazed with rain, water, beside these animals.
How does it computer?
Animals.
How does it horse?
Horse, yeah.
Answer? As chickens. This author wrote that poem, The Red Wheelbarrow, as well as This Is Just to Say.
Williams.
In the author's notes to his epic poem Patterson, Williams stated that, for the poet, there is this 5-word refrain. This refrain repeats throughout the poem and is twice preceded by the phrase, "Say it."
This was Nature's Institute.
I forgot it, bro.
Say it. This is
Answer?
just to say.
It's no ideas but in things.
Yeah.
But you were right, it wasn't just 10 points to the bonus, toss up 4. 3 values of this physical quantity are divided by the signs of angles in Lamé's theorem. This quantity appears in a cross product and is decomposed in Varignon's theorem. Orthogonal displacement of 2 opposite valued instances of this quantity yields a namesake couple. A linear combination of 3 forms of this quantity is dotted with virtual displacement in D'Alembert's principle. Orthogonal components of this quantity are summoned as Lorentz form in electromagnetic fields. Equilibrium is re-established by a restoring form of this quantity.
Force. Yes.
That is
Nice. You said Lorentz force with or
Laurent Berlant and Sarah Ahmed have applied the study of this concept to feminist and queer theory. 9 points each. Name these states, closely related to emotions, but also involving bodily responses and the capacity to act, that were the subject of a late 90s flowering of scholarship in literary theory and the social sciences.
Damn. Like defense mechanism?
Answer?
Defense
They're
mechanism?
affects.
Oh.
Affect theorists draw on this book's classification of the affects, which it defines as modifications to the body that increase or decrease its active power. This 1677 book uses the method of Euclid to identify God with nature.
Wait. Damn.
I don't know.
Answer?
The Prince, yeah.
That's ethics,
Damn. Oh.
which is the magnum opus of this Dutch Jewish thinker of the early modern period.
Yeah.
Spinoza
Spinoza.
direction.
Toss up 5. In a painting inspired by a magazine, an artist performs this action as his lover Peter Schlesinger, wearing a pink suit jacket, looks down. In an 1885 painting, an artist controversially depicted himself in the bottom right corner performing this action alongside his students.
Taking notes.
No. A person performing this action is represented by a white blotch of paint behind a protruding yellow rectangle in front of palm trees and an empty director's chair in a painting by David Hockney. A boy stands on a stone wall and watches his young man perform this action in Thomas Aiken's painting. For 10 points, a Georges Seurat painting depicts boys performing what action along the Seine at Adnières?
Bathing?
Yes.
Nice.
Swimming in the answer line. There. Your bonus. This country's razor gangs were led by crime bosses such as Tilly Devine, the Queen of Woolloomooloo. For 10 points each. Name this modern-day country where an 1850s gold rush brought huge numbers to Ballarat and other sites in the state of Victoria.
Australia.
Direct.
This Australian bushranger, who committed several murders at Stringy Bark Creek, made a homemade suit of bulletproof armor for his final shootout with the police at Glenrowan.
My baby boy, Ned Kelly, direct.
I hope he's not your baby boy. Australian outlaw Kate Lee controlled shops that sold illicit alcohol called Sly this term. This term names a drink that was part of Royal Navy rations from 1756 to 1970 using a recipe devised by Vice Admiral Edward Vernon.
Grog, right? Yeah, no, grog. Yeah, grog.
Points.
Baby girl.
I get that slide. That's grog. Toss up 6. This commander broke the last of 31. Sorry, let me try this again. This commander broke the last of 31 kings by destroying a northern alliance of the waters of Merom. The Hivites of Gibeon used worn sandals to trick this commander out of fear over his tendency to put every living thing to the sword upon conquering them. A planned retreat by this commander lured Bethelite forces from their defensive positions, allowing his reserves to burn Ai. The documentary Battles BC postulated that this commander used a red cord hanging from a brothel's window to infiltrate a besieged city while his men marched around it for 7 days.
Saladin?
Incorrect. -5. Or no penalty. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Force of habit. I get it.
Shofar. This is sticking. Let me know if when you try to buzz, if it doesn't buzz, let me know. Shofar blows then signaled those infiltrators to bring down Jericho's walls. For 10 points, the Israelite invasion of Canaan was led by what successor of Moses?
Joshua.
Yes.
Is it the Battle of Jericho?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than the massive fire, the main reason you shouldn't run a battery on the thermite reaction is that it only provides 1.6 of these units. For 10 points each, name this SI unit for the electric potential difference across a battery.
Voltage.
Yeah, sure. The voltage is low because fully reducing ferric iron in this oxidation state is unfavorable. Aluminum acquires this charge in the thermite reaction.
+3, right?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Wait.
Yeah, it might be +3. +3?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd get twice the voltage from a thermite battery between aluminum and the +3 ion of this element, which has the highest electron affinity and electronegativity of any metal. This transition metal's only other common oxidation state is +1.
One.
What did it say, cobalt?
Yeah, sure. Try.
Okay.
Answer?
Cobalt.
So was that?
Cobalt.
Gold.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh, shit.
20 points, toss up 7. Medieval residents of this city climbed Greece Cucania trees to reach a stuffed bird during its feast of the roast pig. A statue of Neptune in this city's Piazza Maggiore inspired the logo of one of its major car companies. Mundinus inaugurated this city's tradition of public dissections, which were often accompanied by music. This city is home to the headquarters of Maserati and Lamborghini. Flat tagliatelle pasta often accompanies this city's namesake meat-based sauce.
Bologna?
Yes. Your bonus. No. The speaker of this poem decries the savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. For 10 points each, name this poem whose speaker laments how dull it is to pause to make an end. This poem's second stanza focuses on the speaker's love for his most blameless son, to whom he leaves the scepter and the isle.
Waiting for
Answer?
barbarians.
Defer.
Those are lesser known lines from Ulysses. Ulysses is a poem by this English poet who also wrote Crossing the Bar and The Charge of the Light Brigade.
Tennyson direct.
Odysseus' possible disappointment with his return to his homeland is also chronicled in this author's 1911 poem Ithaca. This author also wrote Waiting for the Barbarians.
Cavalry direct.
Yes, 20 points.
No, Alexandria mentioned before.
I almost said that in part 1, but that House of Ages. C. Wright Mills coined the term for a crackpot version of this word in the causes of World War III. This word follows capitalist in the name of an art movement co-founded by pop-inflected German artists such as Gerhard Richter. It's not liberalism, but Kenneth Waltz's theory of...
Realism?
That is 20 points. A chaperone fashioned like one of these objects, sometimes titles a painting whose date of October 21st, 1433, is painted to resemble an etching on its frame. For 10 points each, name this object of clothing, a red one of which is worn by a man in a black fur coat in a possible self-portrait by Jan van Eyck.
Huh?
Yeah.
Red.
Robe, maybe?
Article.
Yeah.
Answer?
Robe direct.
I heard two multiple answers. Which one?
Robe.
That's turban.
Ooh.
Oh.
This man wears a red twisted bourrelet in a 1438 Van Eyck portrait. This man holds the hand of a pregnant woman in a green dress in a Van Eyck painting believed to depict a wedding.
Wait, this man?
Yeah.
Arnold Sweeney, direct?
Yes.
Nice.
English or original language term required. This phrase appears at the top of the frame for Man in the Red Turban. This pun was Van Eyck's motto and was written in pseudo-Greek letters.
Phrase?
This phrase. It's a dark and stormy night.
Skibbity toilet direct.
It's as I can, but it's as I can, written as like a pun.
That's devious.
Okay, 10 points. Toss up 9. A character in this novel uses golden strings to feel the pulse of a ruler and prescribes a medicine of black gold for his anxiety. A character in this novel kidnaps the daughter of a village elder and exposes his identity through his insatiable appetite. That character carries a rake and is tasked with...
Journey to the West.
That is 20.
What?
I don't remember.
Okay.
At the breakup of Austria-Hungary, about 3/4 of its industrial capacity was in what became this country, for 10 points each. Skoda Auto was founded in what country, which industrialized under Tomáš Maršík and Edvard Beneš?
Oh, the Czechoslovakia direct.
Yes. Before making cars, Skoda operated in this industry, including making products with a Czech-derived name, howitzer.
Like
Artillery? Yeah, artillery? Oh,
Yeah,
God,
arms,
okay.
but yes. Skoda's local competitors included Tatra, whose model name for this number was the first mass-produced aerodynamically shaped car. Václav Havel and other dissidents designed a charter name for this number, calling on the Czechoslovak government to respect human rights.
77 direct.
30 points. Right. And toss up 10. After this event, one leader stayed at Ian Fleming's estate for a month amid concerns of his benzodrine addiction. Joel Bainin traced a mass explosion event that occurred during this event to distrust from the Levon affair 2 years prior. What is that?
The Suez Crisis?
Yeah, 20 points. Also, is there a word you're missing?
I was thinking.
You can distrust from? Okay.
Israeli.
It's a-
It feels...
So aggro.
That's embarrassing.
All right, your bonus.
Poor people on the
This
street.
this pianist wrote his third and favorite piano concerto for his 1909 tour of the U.S. for 10 points each. Name this Russian composer of four virtuosic piano concertos and a rhapsody on the theme of Paganini.
Oh, Liszt, direct.
That's Rachmaninoff.
Oh my god.
This American pianist won the first Tchaikovsky competition in 1958 by playing Tchaikovsky in Rock 3. Yun-Chan Lim went viral for his performance of Rock 3 in the final round of a 2022 competition named for this pianist, held every 4 years in Fort Worth, Texas.
Wait, this pianist?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Answer?
Copland direct.
That's Van Cliburn. For the Cliburn competition, Lim also played all 12 of these pieces in one sitting. This solo piano collection by Franz Liszt includes Faux Follet, Mazeppa, and Chasse-Neige.
The Caprices.
Go with it.
The Caprices.
These are the transcendental etudes.
Okay, well, sorry, guys.
No points on the bonus. At the half, I have a score of Lambert 150, Livingston A 190, possibly 11. When this concept is first introduced, a character notices the absolute simplicity of it and lets out a respectful whistle. A chapter named after this concept ends with the protagonist being stabbed by a woman holding a bone-handled kitchen knife before being saved by 2 colonels. This concept is introduced as a law that is illegal to read. An example of this concept results in a profit being made off of eggs that are bought for 7 cents each.
Catch 22.
That's 10 points.
Oh.
And sold for 5 cents each.
Yes, yeah.
Read it.
Yes.
In the first line of a novel, this author evocatively describes the smell of cyanide and associates it with the fate of unrequited love. For 10 points each. Name is Colombian author of Love from the Time of Cholera and 100 Years of Solitude.
Garcia Marquez.
Yes. 100 Years of Solitude opens with Aureliano Buendia facing the firing squad and remembering the day his father took him to discover this substance.
Ice.
In the first line of a different Garcia Marquez novel, this character gets up at 5:30 to wait for the bishop, despite getting back late from a wedding the day before.
Santiago Nasser. Santiago Nasser.
Try it.
Santiago Nasser.
30 points.
Nice.
Also 12. A controversy named for these objects was resolved when Deputy Secretary Roswell Gilpatrick found only 10 examples of R7 Corona photos. In 1984, a young Ash Carter told Congress that a proposed system of X-rays would be ineffective against these objects.
Missiles?
20 points.
Nice.
It's basically this.
Instead of facing these questions, son of Laius, who sought their sister's throne, were asked to recite the prophecy Cadmus was given at Delphi, for 10 points each. Name these questions that were asked on Mount Fitium. One of these questions greeted travelers by asking for the creature with one voice, while another refers to day and night as sisters who birthed one another.
Yeah, like the Sphinx's riddles?
Yeah.
The Sphinx's riddles.
Exactly that. Answer the Sphinx's modernized riddle. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening?
Me.
Man,
And Apparently
was
the actual
fine.
riddle is more like, what is it that has one voice and is 4-footed, 2-footed, and 3-footed? The Sphinx killed Haemon, the son of this Theban king, whose sister Jocasta married
Creon.
Oedipus.
Wait, sister Creon. Okay, Creon.
30 points.
Nice.
Yes.
The heck? Okay.
Real.
13.
That's how I feel when I play Quiz Bowl.
This character laments how her own body seemed nothing at all, while admiring the slow and stately figure of Lady Bexborough. This character thinks fondly of the clever sayings of a former love interest, such as a quip about preferring men to cauliflowers. This character reminisces about the most exquisite moment of...
Miss Dalway.
That is 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Reader, she kissed me. Your bonus. Alan G. Thurman, a 74-year-old running mate of this man, gave a bizarre speech stating, "I am not quite as well as I ought to be," for 10 points each. Name this Democrat who lost the 1888 election with Thurman, but won 4 years later against the same opponent with the elder Adlai Stevenson as running mate.
Cleveland.
This candidate's running mate, James Stockdale, asked on the debate stage, "Who am I? Why am I here?" This third-party candidate topped some polls in 1992 against Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush.
Pearl.
Yes. Although this man was deemed too old to become FDR's running mate in 1944, he ran in 1948 together with Truman. This man may have been the first VP to be nicknamed Veep.
Barkley.
30 points.
92.
Toss up 14. Ions like benzyl pyridinium are named for these devices because they always fragment the same way in ESI mass spec. These devices' 2-point calibration scale was invented by astronomer Ola Romer. A type of these devices measured the EMF from two alloys spliced at a Seebeck junction. Essentially, the zeroth law allows these devices to exist. In psychrometry, these devices are wrapped in a damp cloth to provide wet bulb measurements.
Pendulums?
Incorrect.
Oh shit. This
That's
is
10, right?
What's
No, I
zero?
didn't get it.
Oh,
Incorrect.
These devices are poked through a styrofoam lid and provide experimental data from a coffee cup calorimeter. For safety, red dyed ethanol is used today in these devices instead of liquid mercury. For 10 points, Daniel Fahrenheit invented what type of device?
Thermometers.
Yes.
Show me,
Border disputes have made a comeback in the 2020s. For 10 points each, 2 answers required. A dispute about the reach of the exclusive economic zone of one of these two countries has led the other to threaten to seize the island of Castellarizo. These two countries once engaged in earthquake diplomacy.
right? Let me see.
Haiti.
These two
Dominican
countries.
Republic? I don't know.
Answer.
Haiti, Dominican Republic.
This is Greece and Turkey.
Oh.
In 2023, this president of Venezuela ordered new maps printed in all the country's schools, showing Venezuela now possessed long disputed territory with Guyana.
Maduro. I think we bungled that. Okay.
This proposed border in the South China Sea gets its name from a map amended by Mao Zedong in 1952. A supposed depiction of this border caused the government of Vietnam to ban the Barbie film.
Oh, is it like the 9-5?
Yes.
$9.
Toss up 15. One historian claimed that people from this region descended from the underworld god Dis and thus emphasized night more than day. Aurelian claimed that the title Restitutor Orbis after defeating a splinter state in this.
Gaul?
20 points.
I will kill you!
Quantum form of this interaction motivates M theory and names a theory that implements it with namesake loops. For 10 points each, name this interaction that gives rise to the hierarchy problem because it is 24 orders of magnitude weaker than another one.
Wait. Interact? Did you say interaction? Wait, it's the weak force.
Weak
Right?
interaction.
And
The weak force.
Gravity.
Oh.
Loop quantum gravity seeks to reformulate GR as a background-less one of these theories. Yang-Mills theory exemplifies these field theories in which the Lagrangian is invariant under namesake local transformations in a Lie group.
Is it just a string theory?
Go with it.
String theory?
These are
Right.
gauge theories. LQG is contrasted with theories of these hypothetical one-dimensional objects that compose all matter. Theories of these objects feature many extra dimensions.
Strings, direct.
Direct.
Toss up 16. Just for fun, at 3/4, it is 260, 270.
Oh, how splendid.
Wait.
Splendid.
Yeah, we're 270 for us.
Okay, cool. Let's fix that.
All right.
All right, at the half, we had 140, 190,
Yeah, that was right.
180, 190. After that, next question.
Wait, can you read the bonuses for that?
So on number 11, you got Garcia Marquez, Ice, Nisar, all
Yeah.
30 for to go to 180.
Oh, I put the wrong one. Yeah, that's one. Yep, we're good.
So
We're chill?
260, 270. Yeah, but you disagree, right?
What? No, we said 260, 270.
No,
Oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah, we're
We're-
good.
yeah, we're
good.
Okay, I accidentally added.
We had the same as him. We had the same as you.
Okay, cool. Toss up 16. The earliest writings in this philosophical tradition were satirical poems called Siloi, written by Timon of Phlius. Diogenes Laertius claimed that this tradition's founder accompanied Anaxarchus to India and was influenced by the Gymnosophists. A book on the outlines of one form of this tradition distinguishes it from Carneades' academic form. Edmund Husserl was influenced by this tradition's practice of epoche, or bracketing. Sextus Empiricus was a philosopher from this tradition that, like Stoicism and Epicureanism, believed that the highest good was a state of suspended judgment called ataraxia. For 10 points, Pyrrho of Elis founded what philosophical tradition that doubts the possibility of certain knowledge?
Cynicism.
Incorrect, no penalty.
Skepticism.
That's right.
Nice.
Sister philosophy podcasters.
You don't sound very sure, though.
I'm not sure.
It's
I'm supposed to know
This
this,
poem
and I
begins
don't.
after every war, someone has to clean up, ends by describing someone with a substance in his mouth gazing at the clouds. For 10 points each, name this substance which has overgrown causes and effects in the end of the beginning. A child asks, what is this substance, in a collection named for this uncut hair of graves.
Grass, correct.
Yeah.
The End and the Beginning was written by this poet of salt and calling out to Yeti. This Polish Nobel laureate lists reasons that a woman could have looked back in Lot's Wife.
Want me to just guess the Polish guy? Kapuzinski.
That's Szymborska.
Damn.
Szymborska is from this. Wait, what?
Huh?
Said post me a question.
Szymborska is from this country, whose national epic is Adam Mickiewicz's Ponte Douche. Joseph Conrad moved from this modern-day nation to the UK.
not just
Procedural protest, but Poland. I'm not gonna
Did they
reject
not
10
just say
points.
he was Polish?
Yeah, they sure did.
And then they said he was part of the UK?
Interestingly, that she is Polish, but
I'm
yes,
sorry, she?
Like, no, maybe
it's not.
Maybe they thought that.
Yeah.
it does say right. Yeah,
Is she like Polish British?
we will move
or-
on, and we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
So how many points is that?
300. Just two.
20, right?
300?
That was 20 points. You're at 300. Yes.
Oh no, I'm missing 10 points.
Yeah. Actually, what should I?
Is that supposed to be the median?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I thought you said we got 300 points on the bonus, and I'm like, I don't
Hell
know
yeah.
how that works, but like, I'm not gonna.
there is a
deny.
whole thread about
How long
this.
median? I mean, okay.
There's a whole thread?
You said Polish.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess we're just moving on from that. I don't know. You get points.
Woo!
You guys can protest if you want. I guess I don't know what to do here.
Okay. Not right now. We don't press this right now. It's a thing.
All right. Anyway, toss up 17. This element is dominant in the emission spectra of many subtypes of both WN and WC types of Wolf-Rayet stars. This element is the most abundant.
Helium.
That is 20 points.
I wrote
A federation named for this two-word term collapsed in 1962 following Eric Williams' observation that 1 from 10 leaves not. For 10 points each, Christopher Columbus's expeditions originated what two-word term for the Antilles and Lucayan archipelago?
Wait. Two words. Like India Nova, direct?
It's the West Indies.
Okay. Damn.
Williams's comment referred to this island's decision to leave the West Indies Federation. Queen Nanny organized Maroons to resist European colonization on this island.
Jamaica, direct.
Jamaica left the Federation under a premier with this last name. In 1970s, Prime Minister of Jamaica with this last name held hands with his rival Edward Seaga at Bob Marley's One Love concert.
Okay, 19, like, Manly? Manly, direct?
20 points.
Michael Munley, our gym teacher?
Toss up 18.
Let's get next.
A makeup artist from this country created glass-like skin to make models resemble porcelain dolls for a 2024 Maison Margiela runway show. This country is home to a designer whose contemporary minimalism revived Celine in 2008 and who launched the eponymous brand Phoebe Philo in 2023. An actress born in this country names a purse that was conceived during a conversation on a plane between her and the chairman of the French company Hermes. Interest in this country's teddy boy subculture was renewed by Vivienne Westwood. A woman from this country wore a revenge dress when her...
England?
Prompt?
Great Britain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, Pat McGrath is from Great Britain?
Who?
Was she the one that did the makeup?
Okay.
Or was it someone else? Am I going insane?
I don't know who you just said, but your bonus.
The first
A
line.
band, leader with this first name and the surname Tipton was discovered to possibly be transgender after his death. For 10 points each, give this first name of the composer of Lush Life, who wrote about the quickest way to Harlem in a song for a different band leader.
Who's the Adrian guy?
Question. The Atrium?
Yeah.
There's Ellington,
Answer?
but there's a different guy.
Ellington.
That's Billy.
Strayhorn.
Billy Strayhorn was a gay member of this pianist namesake orchestra, which performed Take the A Train at the Cotton Club. This pianist standards include In a Sentimental Mood and It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing.
Duke Ellington.
Ellington, yeah.
Yes. Tintin's story is similar to Little Axe, Broad Axe, a quartet singer in this genre. Mahalia Jackson and James Cleveland recorded this religious music genre.
Spirituals?
Go with it.
I don't know.
Sure.
Gospel?
Gospel.
Go with it.
Gospel, direct.
Yes.
Nice.
But the first line, the makeup,
Sophia.
the
Toss up
margin-
19.
I wrote a vanity question.
You did.
How's my team? A god refuses entry to one of these figures at Mount Kailash, causing that figure to impatiently strike out with a weapon gifted to him by Shiva. 5 lakes swell with the blood of the 21 warrior generations slain by one of these figures, who, in another myth, uses his axe to top off Ganesha's.
Avatar's Vision?
Donnie points.
Sorry, who is it?
Dashamatara, yes.
Always Avatar's.
That was Sanjay. Gray code is a variant of this numeral system that is achieved by flipping each digit to the right of a 1. For 10 points each, name this numeral system that features only the digits 0 and 1.
Binary.
Yes. Gray code guarantees that consecutive integers have distance 1 under this metric, which is bounded below by edit distance. For 2 binary strings, this metric equals the number of bit substitutions by which they differ.
I only know parity stuff, but I don't know.
Answer?
Parity.
It's the Hamming distance. The earliest code named for this task is Hamming 7,4, whose 3 parity bits can detect any variation of Hamming distance 1. After detecting that the checksums of copies of a file differ, this task makes them equal.
Like hashing then makes it a checksum. I don't know. Hashing.
It's error correction. 10 points, and last toss-up. 2 enzymes in this organelle use lipoic acid as an antioxidant. A heme, iron, sulfur, and flavoprotein complex in this organelle dehydrogenates a 4-carbon dicarboxylic acid, then uses the hydrogen to convert coenzyme Q to QH2. To maintain this organelle's redox potential, cells shuttle electrons into it via malate, rather than pumping in reduced nicotinamide. Complexes 1 through 4 dock in this organelle. This organelle oxidizes acetyl-CoA by condensing it with oxaloacetate. Then,
Mitochondria.
yeah. They don't. They say the thing in the question very disappointingly.
Really?
They do not. Your bonus.
Disgusting.
The Matthew effect was coined to describe the accumulation of advantage by members of this profession. For 10 points each, name this profession whose sociological study was popularized by Robert K. Merton. Thomas Kuhn argued that this profession engages in puzzle solving between paradigm shifts.
So it's something science related because it's
Profession.
paradigm.
Yeah.
Doctors, maybe?
Doctor.
Direct.
What do you think?
Oh, is it like?
I'm gonna say no,
researchers?
actually.
Surgeon or something.
It's scientists.
Bruh.
I should have just gone with that.
The Merton thesis draws a link between Puritanism and the rise of experimental science, akin to this German sociologist claimed that the Protestant work ethic led to capitalism.
Max Weber, direct.
Robert Merton's sociology of science was influenced by Karl Mannerheim's sociology of this concept. Michael Polanyi coined a socially transmitted tacit form of this concept.
Agreement?
Go with it. Agreement.
Knowledge.
Okay.
That is the match. I have a final score of Lambert 290, Livingston 390.
Good game.
Good game.
Okay.
What round was
That
that?
was